Welcome back to Just What We Needed, another podcast. I want to get this out the way because I can already feel myself coming down with something. My throat has been just scratching at me since last night. And it's getting to like the root of my mouth, like the top root of my mouth. It always starts there before I get sick. But let's jump into it. Yesterday I watched Venom, The Last Dance. And yes, this review is going to have spoilers, right? So, in case you haven't seen it, don't see it. And continue listening because the movie is some shit. It really is. All of the Venom movies have been like solid fives or sixes at best, right? And let me just jump into it. Why I think this movie was ass. So, again, this is going to be spoilers ahead. Venom, I already went in, like I said, all of them have been average. I went in with low expectations. I was like, fuck it. Let's see how they finish it up. But I called it months ago. I said in my group chat with my friends, I was like, when they showed Noel off in the trailer, I told them niggas, I said, I bet money Noel is not going to get out that chair. I can't even laugh because like it's just so whatever. But I said Noel is not going to get out that chair. Noel's not going to leave. He's not going to be in any other scenes in the movie. He's just there for a promotion. And I was right. Let's start there. Because Noel, not only was he only there for promotion, we never even see the lower half of Noel's body, bro. That's how bad Sony set us up this time, right? Because with the other Spider-Man adjacent movies, it was what with Madam Web, they had the three girls in their spider costumes, but only were like in a flashback. I didn't even see the movie. I just kept seeing reviews of it, and everyone mentioned that. So it was just that. And then Morbius had Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man graffitied on the wall and then removed it for the actual movie. Sony, man, y'all gotta stop giving Sony all the money. And you probably listen, you just said you went to go see Venom. I didn't say I went to go see it. I said I saw it. Y'all gotta stop giving Sony's y'all's money when it comes to these Spider-Man movies, because they will literally lie to your face every single time. But yes, Noel did not get out that chair. He was in 3 shots of the movie. That man had 3 shots in the entire movie. They got that. They probably didn't even dress him up like for the scenes. They probably let him come on set in just like pajama bottoms and just shot everything from the waist up, because that was it. That was such a bold-faced lie, and I knew it. I called it. What I also called was the fact that it just wasn't going to be interesting. I didn't understand from the first trailer, like, who's the villain? Like, is he just being chased by this CGI monster? And that was the case. That was it. That's the only thing that happened in the movie. Venom was being chased around by the giant CGI monster that was apparently indestructible, right? So here's my issue when I say, like, I knew this movie was going to be, like, not even bad, but just stupid. In the very beginning, very beginning, I think it was Eddie, he's walking around Mexico or someplace with Venom, right? So he's like down a street. He exits the bar. He's like down a street, just walking around. No one's outside. Who knows? I guess it's past curfew. Who cares? He's walking around and he hears something. He's like, "What's that?" Now, to me, I'm hearing it. It sounded like a lady at first. So maybe he's about to find somebody around the corner that's being mugged or whatever. But no. So he keeps walking. You hear that, Venom? He's like, "Yes, I hear it." And Venom is he's a little more like bearable and comprehensible in this movie compared to the last one. I could not understand shit Venom was saying in the last movie. Definitely the first. So it gets better throughout the movies. But he's walking around the streets, walking some more. And then he gets close, he sees a building, right? And he goes into the building. and then he goes down the building. Now keep in mind, remember this sequence of events. He leaves the bar he was at. He walks down the street. He's hearing something from down the street. He walks further up, goes into a building, and now he goes farther down beneath the basement, to the basement level, to where he's seeing like some dogs in cages. They're doing dog fights. Okay, evil shit. And they come down, action scene ensues, blah, 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 blah. Remember all that. Once he leaves the building, the giant CGI monster shows up, and we learn a little later that it can only sense Venom. I mean, we didn't really learn it later. We kind of already knew from the visual, but we learned that the monster can only sense Venom when he's in like full Venom form and not just as an attachment, like as just a head or whatever. The giant monster is literally right behind them. It's making hella noise. It's on top of a building. It jumps from the building. There's no like feeling of that the giant monster jumped from the building to the ground, and Eddie's just walking. He's just walking it off. Doesn't hear shit, doesn't feel shit. And that's when I knew that this movie was going to be dumb as hell. I went into it with low expectations, and it just got even worse from there. So, what is it? And it turns out later on, I hate how they keep the monster on top of Venom too. Like, it's not tracking. Like, it's really, really not tracking them. Like, they could be hundreds of thousands of miles away, and it does not know until like they transform. And I hate the fact that it's just instantly there to just keep the plot going. Like, it just happens instantly. I wonder from the trailers how they get onto the plane. Like, do they jump from another plane? No, he just attached to the plane. Venom, he attached to the plane, and they're just going. And the monster is literally on the ground. The plane has been in the air. They're at who knows how many thousand miles above altitude. And when the monster finds picks up the scent of the codex, it just jumps up there. Right? It just jumps. The monster doesn't, to my knowledge, to my memory, the monster doesn't have wings. It just jumps to the plane going that, like, there's no real sense of, like, not urgency, but any sense of tension. That's what it is. There's no sense of tension because the monster can just instantly be there, and it's not really built up. Like, we know why Eddie doesn't know why it's chasing them yet, but we know why. And the fact that it can just jump from the ground thousands of miles away to the plane at such high speeds, there's no sense of tension. Which made me go back to, like, is there a villain? Is there something more powerful than this thing that can be instantly where Venom is just because he transformed? And that's just never the case. There is no villain in this movie. They talk about there's no villain in this movie at all. Like, niggas talk about how Endgame didn't have a villain for the first hour. Like, this movie is the same way. It doesn't have a villain at all. Like, Nola's not the villain. He's literally nowhere near Earth. He gets sucked up at the end just because Venom dies and shit. Like, it's like, how did he get out in the first place then? And he still, it doesn't make sense. So, with that being said, yeah, the movie is really dumb. It was kind of a waste of time. And then, so alongside, the fact that there's no tension, right? Venom tells Eddie, hey, this thing is tracking us. It can only track us when I'm fully transformed, right? So Venom knows the danger, everyone in the movie is being told, if Noel gets free, it's going to be the end of everything. He's older than the universe. And he's going to bring an army, and he's going to kill us all, and he's going to overtake everything, and he's the king in black. All right, so Venom sets the tone of what could happen if he gets found. These motherfuckers run into the old lady from the other Venom movies in Vegas somehow, don't know. They run into her, and with all that being said of how Noel can end the universe, this man Venom decides, hey, let's transform just to dance with her. And I feel like, and I hate how this is my thought process, right? I feel like they included this scene in the movie just for memes. Not to like pay off a meme or pay off anything, but they did it for the memes. Like, I remember in the first Sonic movie, they had that little quick scene where they was like, oh, I've seen the blue blur and this is what it looks like. And it was that Sonic meme, right? The one with little badly drawn Sonic with the oval belly. That was it. Like, that's paying off a meme. That's paying off a joke. I feel like Sony was just forcing themselves to have a Zemo dancing moment. Like, that's because it doesn't make any other logical sense as to why that would have happened. Like, you've already spelled out the danger of what can happen. You yourself told us what's going to happen if you transform, and we know that thing can be on you immediately. And they did that just to have a little dancing scene. It's incredible how much like location that the CGI monster, and I gotta keep calling it that. I've forgotten what is phase something. Nah, it's CGI monster. I don't forgot what it's called. It's incredible seeing how far the monster can track them. Like, it's literally just hacks. Like, that's wall hacks to the max. It's actually insane how bad that is to me. Like, that takes away all tension. It's not like it's some super smart sniffing around and can follow the steps and clues left behind Venom or any, because we've seen him leave pieces of himself behind before, so it's not like he's doing that. It literally just, oh, he's right there, all right, bet I'm gonna just jump over there. So it's the movie, just there's no sense of tension. Not only is there no sense of tension in the movie, there's no sense of, like, they try to force a scene where we're supposed to care about certain things, and I just can't get into it. It's like there's a family that gets introduced and they're in danger when they really had no business being there at Area 51 in the first place and snooping around and shit. So I personally can't really feel bad for this family, because we don't know them. We don't know them. We don't care. And then of course there's the scene where Venom starts to die, and then towards the end we start getting flashbacks from the older movies. It's supposed to move us. It's supposed to be very touching. It's supposed to be, you know, all that. It's supposed to make us cry and feel something and feel bad and sad for Venom. I can't feel anything because all the movies were ass anyway. Like, on top of the fact that this is something I'm just thinking of now, like, you want us to feel bad for them separating, and throughout all like 3 movies, or at least the first 2, Eddie was trying to get away from Venom the entire time anyways. Like, it's not like they've been together for years. They literally say in the movie it's only been a year. They've been together for a year, and that's it. So it's hard to feel anything from that. Like, it's just, it reminds me of that scene from Sonic Frontiers to where Sage had a flashback to everything that was going on, and you know, learning these emotions and new emotions and getting attached to Eggman and splitting her what she thinks of Eggman and Sonic, and it was supposed to be very emotional, but it just didn't pan out because we don't know. We just met her. It was the whole little sad song that started like na 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 na, but we don't know her. One of the scenes that played in that flashback was a scene that happened like 10 minutes prior to that scene. Like, that's how new and fresh she is. So there's no attachment. There's no attachment to it, so it just feels really off. It's just, I didn't like it. While feeling it, it didn't make any type of sense whatsoever. But that's all I got for y'all today. Venom 3 sucked. All the movies, I won't say they all sucked. Carnage was at least had the best action for sure. But they've all been mid at best. They've all been like a 6 at best. So that's all I can really give you today. Hopefully, the next podcast I'll have something on a lighter note, something more positive. I've realized that I don't really, speak on a lot of positives on this, so I'll do better next time. Right now, you're getting all this negativity, though. Sorry, but I appreciate you guys for listening, watching, however you do it, and I'll catch you later on the next one, whenever that is.